Hi, I'm going to tell you about my personal leadership journey. The title is My Consistent Steps Forward. I know the feeling of being alone. It's my biggest fear. At a young age, I came from a low income African American family where resources like food, clothes, literature, and finances was limited. I was poor, so to create opportunity was almost impossible. Another fear. Like it wasn't a good enough reminder where I came from, with the constant police sirens sounding during the night. This broken community was my safe space. Compared to my nonprofit organization, New, the director, I knew I had a lunch every day and friends I could eat with. They were like my family. I had a place to lie down where the police sirens wasn't my lullaby, rather the sound of laughter. Being young, I had to be resortive, that no problem was too hard to solve. I came to terms that I wasn't going to have those family dinners with my mom, dad, and sister. I wasn't going to have a bookshelf at home to select books to read, and I won't have a lullaby to fall asleep to. My parents are my role model because they gave me life. They taught me how to survive. New is also my role model because she created Youth Leadership Initiative, Why Lie, a place where I can thrive in life. I had to be positive, realizing this is my community. I had to adapt to the situation and be a realistic in creating my safe space because it wasn't at home. New taught me the meaning of safe space. It is internal and external, place where people, youth in the situation, can express their individualism without the concern about being judged. This is significant because it helps youth gain skills like ideation, positivity, restoration, competition, and adaptation. Surprisingly, all skills I possess. Safe space doesn't have to be a physical building. It can be a collective building of you conversing, reading a book alone, or internally meditating. My safe space was in my mind. First, I need an internal place to know that. My parents taught me that safe space was rare in my household. At a young age, I was my family's keeper. I learned how to get my sisters ready for school, get them breakfast, and walk them home after school. My parents worked evening shift, which left me in the house to babysit my two younger sisters in the evening. When I would babysit my younger sisters, I felt like I was playing the parent role because I was obligated to make sure they ate, slept, and got their homework done. Other times when I took them out to play, I felt like an older sister, riding bikes alongside them, making music videos with our friends, or trespassing in our neighbor's property. I never knew which role I was supposed to embody because it changed frequently. Not knowing which role I was supposed to embody made it difficult to find my identity in the household. When my parents was home, I was expected to behave as an older sister and not as a parent. It was hard playing the older sister role when my parents was home because no matter how hard my parents tried to be involved to if they tried to involve themselves in my sister's lives, reality was they didn't know anything about them or me. I spent my time raising my younger sisters when I was still a child. So it was hard to swallow the idea my parents got to pick and choose when they got to be parents and I didn't. Sometimes I didn't want to be the parent role around my younger sisters because when I was emotionally hurt, they didn't know what to say to make me feel better. All they would say was, "Let's go play." Going through this consistently made me realize I needed a safe space and quick. When I got older, things was different. When I was a freshman in high school, I attended the Youth Leadership Initiative, Why Live, as a participant. It was one of those places that I could call a safe space. While I was a nonprofit organization, which was a year commitment, high schoolers could come and facilitate meaningful activities to 60 other high schooler participants across the Twin Cities of Minnesota. But it was more than just that. Why was a structural place because they made it clear who were staff, mentors, and participants. Surprisingly, I enjoy the idea being part of an atmosphere that was purposely structured in a way that everyone had a specific role. I no longer had to struggle switching roles because my role was a participant. In Wildlife, we had a group called Action Team. Action Teams allows participants to find issues in societies that they were passionate about and find ways to create awareness, direct service, and advocate. The issue I focused on was the achievement gap in the education system. It was exciting to know that I was going to work with a collective group of youth that shared the same passion. Having this group, I felt more closer to the participants and no longer alone. It reinforced the idea that Wildlife was my safe space to express my voice as a participant. Finding my identity in a nonprofit organization helped me to know that my role was in Wildlife to know what my role was in Wildlife. Now, I'm not saying that you need to know who you are at a young age. Identity helped me to create the safe space to express myself. Wildlife helped me to embrace the participant role and embody it. In Wildlife, I was able to express myself, gain meaningful relationships, and explore issues that were troubling. At home, I frequently had to change my role to shape the situation at the time. I never got to truly understand myself because I was trying to help everyone else. Creating a Creating a safe space was an individual journey, but I wasn't alone. I had many other youth who surrounded me and who shared similar passions like I did. At home, I was alone. I had to adapt to ideas and situations and accept reality. I wasn't able to express who I was as an individual. Thanks to Wildlife and Home, I now know that what I need in order to call myself or something my safe space. Now, as an adult, I can find the safe space right in my mind. I know that I need peace, self-harmony, competition to keep me going. Problems have never knocked me down. It was rather if I was going to respond or react to them. Every day I try to choose to respond, not letting the situation get the best of me. Rather, I get the best of the situation. Nothing too big or too small if good positivity, motivation, and ideas are in it. Who would have ever known I was that young African American girl who had police sirens for lullabies at night? Thank you.